Sydney, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this really cool thing with your uncle, man. It's like a lifetime thing that I'm going to always remember. And, it's kind of neat that I'm bringing you along with this creative journey I'm having with my life. It's really cool, and I'm really humbled that you'll do this. I'm sorry I'm all bloated, everything. But I just ate. And your uncle, he's a slob. He gets it flying on the walls and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to try to make this a little bit fun. I'm sorry. Okay. I got Irving the inter. I got John the interviewer here. He wants to say hello. Hey. Anyway, he's gonna help me ask these questions, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, say hello to Sydney. Sydney, hi. Hi. Hi, Sydney. Was that all right? Yeah. Huh? All right. So he's gonna help me with the questions, right? Okay. This is nerve wracking for me, so I'm going to try to do it. And thank you again. I really love you a lot, and it's really wonderful to do. It's just really cool. It's just so much fun. So they sent me seven questions, and I'm gonna let Irving here ask me the question. What do you think? Okay. How do you choose? I can try not to move my mouth. How do you choose How do you choose locations? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So, locations of art, is it me? Is it the business owner, or is it owner of the actual sculptures? So basically, I choose when I first started doing that. I've been doing installations of so many different mediums and all different types of art. I would just think of so many different things when I was in Chicago and Atlanta, and then moved here. I probably done probably close to 50 different types of outdoor installations of all different range: chalk, uh, food color and snow, clown noses in a tree that has no leaves, about 1,000 of them. So, when I got here, we moved here, and I just would. Uh, it was I just look for opportunities that you just don't see normal. Like, this doesn't look normal, but it looks so out of place. It's just like, first, how did it get there, and why is it there? And those are the places I look for. The real place that could get impact, where it would be totally a surprise for somebody. And you know what? We just don't have enough surprises in this life. Just think about how every time you get a surprise, you just feel so good. And if it's just from transit going from A to B somewhere, and you see this thing, that's where the real impact is the surprise of it. And then probably the other 50% is the actual art itself and how it composes into nature. So that's I think, really the cool thing about all this is there's really unlimited possibilities of when I wake up, and it just keeps my heart fluttering. Like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I know there's a spot over there, and then over here, and then so it is mostly, sometimes, if I'd say 65% me, and then I get also people say, "Can you come install mine and my property?" And then businesses all the time also, uh, they want a little something, a little craziness outside their business, which is just so humbling. It really is awesome. And but there's so many different ways to view how do I choose locations, because every day it's not the same. And I love that about what I try to keep my own self guessing not just everybody else. And it just tickles me when I put something out and I see it and I forgot about it like a year ago or something and it's still there. It just makes me smile, and I hope it does everybody else too. So, locations, it's really neat to work close with the city and Atlantic Beach and other Jax Beach, Neptune, and downtown. It's really wonderful to be in Avondale, Five Points, all those places. But just it's all just so much fun. Now, question number two: how do you envision your critters? What is the inspiration? Inspiration. Let's start with God first, because basically, he's just kind of telling me what to do, and I think my imagination is that he's just really supercharged my creative gray matter between my ears. I mean, it is really. I just sometimes it just flows out so effortlessly, and then these critters, because I don't really do anything specific to species mainly. I get a lot of people say, well, can you do a dolphin, shark, or whatever, and I still love doing that, but I really love just not knowing what I'm going to do next. And then what happens, I go like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'll never outdo that. This one was awesome. And then it just seems to go, not outdo, but it just gets better. And the creativity gets lost in a world of imagination. And with those two, boy, it really is wonderful what you can come up with if you just be a kid again. I mean, I'm a 60-year-old kid that just loves playing, and I'm fortunately making a living at it, and also helping as many people as I can along the way. And it's really wonderful to have that inspiration, more of a God inspiration, and helping others also, because it really does affect some people when they need it the most, when they're down. So it's wonderful to constantly think of new ways, new critters. I mean, they just really come out of my. I mean, what am I going to make now? Sometimes it's driven by the recycled material, what I've cut out, and there's like a kind of a raw cutout, and I look at it, I'm like, all right, I'll use as much as the recycled material as I can, and draw a make believe critter out of that. So sometimes it drives the design with just trying to use as much as the recycled polypropylene that I can. So I hope that answers that question. Probably more than answering the question. Um, Number three, you said that you began placing your critters in public spaces of Atlantic Beach during COVID pandemic simply to put some joy in people's lives during a stressful time. Can you share early reactions uh, that you've received? And I was like, wow, that's a good question. That is a very powerful question, because it all really started. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I do so many mediums. I don't know if I said this, but I'm into everything. Whatever. Sometimes it's actually just material driven too, and I just, okay, I got this. What am I going to do with it? And so that kind of was the case, because I do a lot of recycled materials, wood, everything that I can get my hands onto. That's really what drives every art piece, is sometimes what my material is. So these I had some political signs in my studio for about a year and a half, and they were sitting back there, and I went on my my daily trip to Publix, and this was right when COVID was starting, and I was there, and everybody was buying everything in the store, and everybody was kind of they were really scared, and that made them kind of nasty too, because it was kind of all for me and only me type of thing, and kind of the humanity went out of uh, uh, staying human and nice. And it just wasn't around me in that store at the time, because it was a perfect trifecta with the political, the virus, and then some race stuff that was with the Floyd case. But anyway, it just seemed like everybody was so worried and hopeless almost. And I looked around in that store, and as an artist and a creative and a guy who thinks about things a lot, I was really really depressed, and it was it was awful that that I kind of was in that moment with these people, and I'm just like, where are we headed with this, you know? So I kind of just got a little teary eyed, and not teary eyed, but I was really welling up because I was like, wow, this is a new world that we're going into. On the way home, I had the just taking the Atlantic back, and this is one of those areas that I just chose to, see what I could do as far as putting smiles on people's faces. But I was driving home with my groceries, and I was trying to get home to Atlantic Beach, and I don't know, it was just a God thing. I had this epiphany of seeing these cabbage palm trees in the middle of Atlantic just going by, and I was driving in such a state of concentration of what's happening, that I was just cleared at one moment of what to do, and it just came like a thunderbolt, and I was like, oh, everybody loves a animal. I mean, they probably like animals more than people sometimes. So I let my I came back. I was like, I'll make it out of that corrugated polypropylene, because the corrugation would be easy to do. Just put two little anchors in there, which doesn't hurt the tree. I've found out with the arborist, and it really queens. That's why I don't do queens. It's just the cabbage, but uh, it was so easy to put up, and I could put it up really fast. I could get this thing painted. So all these thoughts are running through my mind on my way home and driving. And so I got so excited by the time I got home. I jetted for the garage, and I just started uh, carving out this shape of this polypropylene. And it was like a lizard, like a gecko. So I painted it, spray painted real, real fast. So it dried. I put it on a fan, and then used an enamel black to do the do the border. And it was so crude, but it still put a smile on my face. And I wanted to do a test, so I couldn't wait. I wasn't going to wait. I was so impatient. I wanted to see it up. So I fashioned it. It took me about 35-40 minutes. I got it back in my car. It smelled like paint. And then I put a ladder in there, and then I jetted back. I had a white hard hat and an orange shirt, and I just wanted to make look like I knew what I was doing out there, and kind of like, oh, this guy is just working on a tree or something. It was almost the actual art of doing it was pretty cool too. It was a performance piece as putting the art up. So uh, I took a ladder, and I wore my hard hat, and I installed this critter right in the middle of Atlantic, in the middle of traffic, and nobody even paid me any mind. And so I got that thing up there, and I took my ladder away, and I stepped back, and I looked at it. It was so powerful, and I just sat there and laughed probably for about at least 3 minutes straight, because I just sat there, but just bending over. I'm like, this is great. I love this. It gave me such an incredible feeling of I know what to do. So uh, I had a red fold out chair I took with me out there when I did this, and I just sat on the side of the road. And the early reactions that I saw were priceless. It was like I could see the people were just in thought driving up to this point where this tree was. And then all of a sudden, especially when they had either old people or kids, they would just liven up. It was so powerful. It gave me the ammunition to come back here. And meanwhile, I mean, it was just very cool. Uh, I started after that. I mean, I really started to experiment with other shapes. I make a weather vane that's on an L bracket, that just the bird just sits there and flies with the wind, and I love doing those. And uh, it's just blossomed in so many ways because I use the corrugation as a engineering thing also, whether I do a weather vane or whether it's a piece of garden art, or if it's going up a tree, or even the birds that fly from the canopies on fishing wire with a swivel, so they never really get tangled up and they really look beautiful. So my imagination is all over the place, and it's really great to share the excitement and the childlike wonder that I could probably give somebody by well, I know because I've gotten over, I can't even imagine to tell you how many there are, but I've gotten texts, I've gotten emails, and the random texts from strangers that aren't my friends on social media are the most powerful. And, they have to really look to kind of find me to send this to me. And when they do, it's really, really impactful, and it gives me such a uh, pride that I'm doing what God wants me to do, and it's loud and clear. It's to make people uh, feel joy and no stress, and the feeling that had when we were kids, where there was, all we had to worry about was eating and playing. I'm not saying to uh, downplay the responsibilities of life, but there's just too much serious stuff all the time. And these characters and these critters that I've been doing, they release unbridled wonder and joy when people see it. And when I get the text that say, yes, I was having a very horrible day having chemo at a hospital. This is just one. And then I looked up and I saw one of your critters, and it just gave me what I needed to, not worry so much, and it's to see a little bit of joy and love that's unconditional and from a total stranger. And I think that's what the power is, because when we drive and we see turn here, this is for sale, it's all something that we've seen before. Not to diminish like anything like murals or anything, but we kind of we get used to the surroundings, and it kind of makes us callous as far as noticing things. So this sticks out like a sore thumb, and I can use almost any natural uh, canvas as my composition. So that's the beauty, is fusing the art with nature. And it's like a trick on, it's a trick on somebody. It looks like it belongs there, but it doesn't belong there. And then you start making up stories. Why is it there? And who put it there? And then you start, and you get lost in this. I get lost in it. And so I can imagine what they do, but the stories that I hear are incredible. They're better than money, and this is a intangible wealth that I consider, that I deposit on a daily basis, and it really gives me such vigor to get up every morning and do do God's work, and making people smile, and also carving out a artistic living out of it. It's really, really wonderful to share, and all labor to make things that are so different. All right, I hope that wasn't so long, because I know we're supposed to be 200 words an answer. So Sydney, this is going to be a miracle if you pull that off, because you know how I'm rambling right now. But it's really who I am and what I want you to kind of decipher out of all it, because you are so talented, and I love you, and I just can't even say thank you enough. Anyway, we're going to go to 4, okay? 4 is you use an unusual material for your critters. Can you tell us about it? Yes. It is corrugated polypropylene, or what they call coroplast. And it's what every like political sign, real estate sign that it's a 24 by 36 usually, and it's recycle. It's highly recycled, because there's a lot of people who put the signs up for just a limited time, and people kind of discard them. So I was really loving that when I came up with this idea to use the actual corrugation of the channels in it as a power of using it universally all over the place. And it is really a great. I wish I could make them out of wood and not have to worry about, using recycles. But the fact that I'm using, I hope that is a lot. But it is really wonderful to work with because it's cuttable and you don't have to saw it. And I love using the knife to like carve it out. It's really like carving, and when I get a shape, then I start to spray on it. It's really really wonderful material, um, highly used there all over the place, and I get people that get a hold of me and say, Scotty, I got these signs. Would you like them? And current mayors, ex mayors. Uh, it's really really cool. I've met a lot of the politicians here who are really all of them are great, and it's wonderful that they send them my way after they're done with them. It's really wonderful material, and I look forward to hopefully finding a way where I can not use recycles and do something that's more sustainable, but only using recycled polypropylene is really cool. So anyway, that's number 4. Do you have, this is number 5, do you have a personal favorite artist, art medium, or artistic time period or style? Mm. So yeah, Andy Goldworthy. He's a artist out of London and United Kingdom, and he does really these large scale installations outside with just natural materials, and he's like one of my favorite uh, because again we're using outdoors as our canvas. He's using it a different way, just with only using natural, and I've done that many many times also. So when I started to see his work when I was in Chicago, I really started doing some snow sculptures, and then I started just to do these organic leaf sculptures. I'd go out in the city and get different colors of leaves, and I'd do a sculpture in front, like a carpet, almost in front of my 3 flat, right next to the the L stop right there, and so everybody saw it, and every leaf was painting the concrete on different style. It was like a pattern, and everybody really freaked out on that. It was really really cool. But yeah, I love mid-century modern colors. That was a really really cool style in the 50s. Those colors they were using also. Um, but as far as like knowing artists and even being taught art, I think what I really always followed was the natural instinct of my heart. I would just listen to, oh, I can do something with that, or I didn't really even know so many artists and styles, and I never really was taught so much about it. But uh, I really I think I love them all. I mean, there's anybody who has a great creativity about them is really my favorite. The people who really hit me with a left uppercut and leave me stunned because I'm like, wow, that is awesome. So there's a lot of really great artists here in Jacksonville I really like, and it's wonderful to be a part of the renaissance that we're kind of having here. And as far as art, creative artists and creative spaces, and it's wonderful. So I I really like uh, modern creations too, modern art, modern sculpture, modern functional art. There's just so much I like. I can't even name it all. It's just too much. And I'm more of a visual. I may not even know the name of that type of style of art, but I can tell you one thing: it really rocks me, and I really like to take inspiration from those, you know, times that am present enough to see something very different that someone has done, and then like it fuels me to do the things that I've done. And I'm a artist that has, oh my gosh, I can't, so many made up mediums and styles and fusions of styles. It's crazy. This brain up here is something else. I can tell you that. Anyway, number 6. What else do you like to do with your free time? Oh my gosh, Sydney, I think you know this. I like, I love to help out people. I love to play music. I love that people want to help have me speak at some functions, and it's really one of the coolest things I ever did was speak at a assisted living facility, and I really love doing stuff like that in schools. But it was really awesome to figure out that this particular art form that I'm doing with animals and critters is uh, so widely loved for their I guess their cuteness. Love's not the word. So widely the first thing that people say is it just makes me smile. They could be meeting me for the first time, be walking up to my studio, and they wouldn't even introduce themselves. They'd just say, "Your stuff makes me smile," and I'm like, "Hi, my name is Scott. What's yours?" So it's really cool. It's really awesome to. But the question was, what else you like to do with your free time? I love to play at least 30 minutes of my guitar every day, and it's so wonderful to do visual all day, and then come in here at about 6:30 or 7, have dinner, and after that, just come in here, put up my phone, and I grab my guitar, and I have my mic out, and I just play something so random, nothing's rehearsed. If I sing, I think of the lyrics right off the hand, and I really love that. This is what I really love doing with my time is also doing music, and uh, being in the community, helping as much as I can. That's my one of I think one of my favorites. Uh, Other than that, I got 2 cats that are wonderful that take up a lot of my time too, because they're I think worse than kids sometimes. So yeah, my free time is taken by a bunch of pets and a lot of spoiling to my daughter Kinley, as my female cat. She just demands so much attention that I think that is a part-time job, but I love her. So as much as you, Sydney, because you're just A1A. All right. Number 7. Do you have bigger dreams for your critters, or something entirely different? Oh my gosh. You know what? I would love to get these critters in war torn areas of this world. Uh, put them up like in the most spontaneous places where there's war and just a lot of stuff that shouldn't be going on, and let's just throw it at it and see what happens. And I mean, I would just love to have some soldier who thinks he's got to do something really bad, and then he sees one of these critters in a torn up, bombed out tree, and then he just kind of thinks about his childhood, or it just makes people, I think, love life, and the miracle of life. And so hopefully, if I can, if bigger dreams is using this to spread God's love and also understanding and healing, and I hope that it would change the world in that way. At least that's my bigger dream for the critters. Now, for entirely something different, I think that I don't have enough time for anything to entirely do. But the answer to your question, uh, doing something entirely different. I make at least 20% or 15% of my week where I'm doing other mediums other than just the polypropylene. I have three shows coming up, modern art shows. I have a show at the Haskell Gallery in the airport, April and through July of 24. And I'm trying to get a profile work of modern contemporary style, which is one of the questions that I like. I really love creating in. So I'm going to be doing a big uh, three big shows. It's going to be really fun this the end of this year and the next year. So I think it hopefully as far as I just hope that I'm just always affecting people in a positive way where that it could if in turn they could affect somebody in a positive way or a caring way or a loving way where it would make a difference, and that would be my biggest dream. And I think that's coming. I hear stories of an incredible amount of intangible wealth that you would not believe the stories that I could yeah, there's just a lot of them, and sometimes I just can't read them. I can't get back to the end of it because they're just so heartwarming and touching for me. Uh, let's see, last one. What do you love about Jacksonville? Oh, so I've lived in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, uh, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Cleveland, Ohio, Chicago, downtown Atlanta, and with all those places, every one of them are different. The artists in the every city different. The way they uh, uh, do shows or the way there's a click or whatever, always different. But when I came to Jacksonville, I came for health reasons because I had to go to Mayo's chronic pain program because I was just uh, in a constant turnstile of surgeries, which is up to about 36 is what I'm up to. Major surgeries from 78 till now. And we came here, we sold everything and moved from Chicago here to go to Mayo there. And they really did a wonderful job with my health. And I think what I love about Jacksonville is that actually saved my life. Mayo did, and not only that, it made me start to thrive and think about others who are going through chronic pain and some bad stuff. And what has happened is that I've got to know the whole, a really big group of creatives here. And I've told you this, we're kind of like going through a renaissance here, and creative renaissance, artistic, whatever you want to call it. And all around me, I see just really great talent, and also that everybody wants to help each other. Also, I love the beaches. I love every little town: Neptune, Ponte Vedra, uh, uh, Jack's Beach, Atlantic Beach, Mayport. I mean, I can go everywhere. Downtown Jack's, and it's just it's such a great vibe and friendly vibe that you always feel like you're just one friend away from always being taken care of. And that's what I really love here. I mean, it has really been a wonderful city, and to actually share this with you, it's really wonderful that that I'm even telling you about this because I think this place is just so special for me. It's been great for me and my wife and my two cats, and it's one of my it actually one of my favorite places. It really is, and it just keeps getting better. There's nothing that I don't think that has ever happened in the beaches area in the Jacksonville proper. It's just nothing but going up, and it really is wonderful to be a part of that. And I'm humbled and honored that I could be, especially spreading a little bit of Scotty love around this city because it's definitely worth it. So I hope this was really, really great for you, Sydney, because I know I'm getting rambling. I know 200 words per question is going to be probably, it's going to be, I'm going to look in that camera too right now, and I better have hit record. I can guarantee you that. It did. Oh my gosh. I almost had a nervous breakdown. So, anywho, do your best. I know you will. Take it any way you want to, 200 or less. And if you need any other answers, if you've stumped on something, let me know. But I surely want to say thank you, and I love you, and I love every one of you. I hope that we see each other very, very soon, because one more minute's still too late. We think about you all the time. I know you're all going through a stressful situation with Carol and stuff. We pray and we pray and we pray for you. And just give everybody a hug, and just know we love you, and we're always going to be there for you. Love you. Thank you very much. This is going to be wonderful. And I'm always going to think about this, Sydney. Always. We're on 2 magazine articles. We could just start our own magazine. What do you say? We'll call it Sid and Scotty, or Sid and Scotty's World, or Sid and Scotty, they like to hear your view, or I don't know, something cool. And then we'll just start selling, what do they call it? Monthly subscription. And we'll become millionaires. We'll give our money away. We'll start to hold concerts with your favorite bands. And then we'll start a restaurant. And then we'll start a cat sitting service. And then maybe go into some other thing like butter chicken stand or something like that. I don't know. But this is really fun. And I want to say it's wonderful to be your uncle. Thank you so much for letting me be one of your funkles. And I love you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you. Smile and come down and see us soon, or else. And I mean that. All right? We're doing a sound check right now. And my number one compadre in all of this mess that we put up is Mr. Brian Topping. Things are going to get pretty loud, but right now, I'm going to try to talk. We're going to try to show you what's happening. Try to keep people from tripping over these birds because they're getting the rig. Here goes the rig, and you can see it's hooked up to the lighting rig. So all of these are hooked up to the rig. We're going to be waiting so nobody gets caught up in these lines. You can see Brian is about to make sure that's over there. So we're going to attach these. A little bit of, see that little line right there?
Is it just me? Or do you think about me like I think about you?
They'll be flying all over the place. All over that stage, you're going to get all over the place. They're doing a sound check right now, but it looks pretty good.